Hello, we continue our teachings on today title is Providential Woman of the Bible. And who are these providential women of the Bible? As we study last time, that the root of family breakdown happens in the Garden of Eden. When Adam and Eve started their families centered on Satan, we learned that Satan came and deceived Eve. And Satan and Eve, they had an illicit sexual relationship. And that was passed down to Adam. Therefore, Adam and Eve and Satan created a demonic trinity. That's why, Satan and Adam and Eve created a demonic trinity. That's the reason that Eve gave birth to sinful children, because the blood of Adam and Eve was contaminated with original sin. So, as a consequence, we know that God cannot intervene with the human portion of responsibility. God gave Adam and Eve portion of responsibility and free will. When God give you free will, God is not going to override your free will. Human free will is extremely important. You can choose doing right or wrong. That's up to you. So, but God always give you guidance and direction. If you do this, God will bless you. If you do this, you will be cursed. If you make a right decisions, you will see the blessing of God. If you do the wrong thing, then you will see the consequences. So that's the free will. So God gave Adam and Eve free will, and God is not going to intervene once they made a decision. So the portion of responsibility, free will and portion of responsibility always come together. God gave a free will to Adam and Eve, but at the same time, God gave them a portion of responsibility. The portion of responsibility for Adam and Eve was to keep the commandment, God's commandment. So God wanted them to, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat. The day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. So that was God's will for them. So as a consequence, we know that Satan and Eve, they had a sexual relationship. So as a consequence, the demonic fallen angels, they started to have relationship with daughters of man. As we read in the book of Genesis, book of Genesis 6, it says that there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God means angels, fallen angels, uh, came in to daughters of men, and they bare children to them, and the same became mighty men of old, means that they became demons. Demons were half human and half fallen angels. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of their heart was only evil. So, how God going to get rid of this generation of giants, which were half demon and half human being? So that was not in God's plan of salvation, plan of creation, principle of creation didn't call for that. But this was the consequence of Adam and Eve's fallen fall. And the original sin. So God has to really get rid of that breed that is half human and half angels. That's the reason that flood came. In the flood, we know that in the flood, the all those people, especially the giants, were wiped out, and only Noah, the only human being, fully human being, and his wife and two virgin daughters were saved. The rest of humanity, which were contaminated by the Satan seed, were wiped out. And in the biblical scriptures in the Old Testament, we read about circumcision, and many people are wondering what circumcision means. Circumcision is uh, the cutting of the foreskin of man's sexual part. And I want to read this to you. And it says, that was what God asked them as a covenant. God says that you shall circumcise the flesh of your skin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And that its 8 days started be 8 days, 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, and my covenant shall be with your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And Abraham was 90 years old, 99 years old, when he was circumcised of the flesh of his foreskin and all his household. So the reason that the flesh of their skin was circumcised because of the original sin committed with the sexual organ. In order to redeem and restore it, God covenant with Abraham, which means the Jewish and Muslim. I come from a Muslim background, and I know about circumcision because it was practiced in our household, or made a covenant based on circumcision. So, and of course, we know that in Christianity, circumcision is not required, but we are required to have circumcision of heart. Of course, after that, we know that Sarah, Abraham, after 2,000 years, Abraham came as the first patriarch, with Sarah, the first matriarch, who truly fulfilled God's will. Thank you. God bless you. And if you are, I want to show you, these are the little kind of messages that I make. If you would like any of this, I give them away for free. Feel free to let me know. My number is 702-340-1373. Thank you. God bless you.